The Hiring Enhancement Program recognizes that hiring the right person for the right position improves the department's productivity, their morale, and their overall customer service. To ensure these departments develop their hiring and selection skills, we offer numerous tools and resources to help them ensure a successful hire. Phone interviews are a time-efficient way to gather the needed information from the candidate to determine if they have the required skills, the knowledge, and the abilities to move forward to your in-person interviews. It's also a great opportunity to make a positive impression on the candidate and gives you an opportunity to provide the applicant with further information regarding the position, the department, and our university. To prepare for the phone interview, consider these best practices. Request a customized phone guide from your dedicated employment consultant. Schedule interviews with candidates ahead of time instead of contacting the candidate and expecting him or her to have an on-the-spot interview. Consider using our tool, Conversations for Scheduling Interviews, to assist with this step. Send a confirmation email with the details once the phone interviews have been scheduled. Hold time on your calendar to conduct interviews. Be sure to allow 10 to 15 minutes post-interview in case the interview goes over the scheduled time. This also gives yourself an opportunity to evaluate the information acquired from the candidate. Review candidates' application materials, making notes on details to follow up on during the interview. Open the conversation with an enthusiastic tone and be sure to include the following important topics. Introduce yourself, giving your name and job title. Clarify the reason for the call and confirm the candidate is still interested in the position. Ask the salary question. Set a time frame for the call, and remember that phone interviews should last no longer than 30 to 45 minutes. Explain where you are in the hiring process. Clarify any questions or concerns from application materials, for instance, their application, resume, cover letter, or any other documents provided by the candidate. Give a brief description of how the interview will flow.
Hi, good afternoon. Can I speak with Mario, please?
This is Mario.
Hi, Mario. This is Alyssa Huddleston calling from the University of Kentucky, the Human Resources Department. I'm calling about your scheduled interview for the Administrative Support Associate 1 position. During this interview, I'm really hoping to learn more about your skills and abilities as they relate to this position, as well as provide you with additional details about the opportunity. Are you still interested in this position?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Well, before we jump in, I wanted to start with talking to you about the salary for the position. It was posted with a minimum salary of $13.71 an hour and a maximum of $21.93. But really, this is the true lifetime minimum and maximum of the position. The department's going to determine a salary based on factors like experience, education, as well as the budget. Our goal is truly to ensure equity within the department for members that are within the same pay grade. Therefore, a more realistic salary range that we can offer is going to be between $15 an hour to $18 an hour. Is that acceptable for you?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Well, I do expect that this call is going to last no more than about 30 minutes. Wanted to give you a quick update as far as where we are in the hiring process. We actually had a total of 62 applicants who applied for this position, and we're in the process of conducting phone interviews with the top 8 candidates. Now, before we jump into the questions, there were a couple points I wanted to clarify from your application. You did list that you were previously employed here at the university. However, you didn't list the dates or the department that you worked in. Would you be able to share that information with me?
Of course. I worked in student employment as a staff support associate from June 2008 to March 2009.
Okay, great. And thank you for that information. The other question that I have is about your relatives who are employed here. You also answered yes, that you currently have a relative employed. And I was hoping you could provide me with the name of that relative as well as your relationship and the department that they're working in.
Sure. I apologize for leaving that part out. My older brother Roman works in the College of Arts and Science.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that information. What I will need you to do is go ahead and go back into the online employment system to update your application. And then if you can let me know once you've completed that update, I will ask for Human Resources to send me your updated application so that I have that information.
Okay. I'll be sure and let you know once I completed that.
Okay, great. Well,
Use our tool, Application Review Checklist, to assist you in noting information to discuss and/or clarify during the interview. After you've covered all of the essential topics in your opening, it's time to start asking your prepared interview questions. Behavioral-based interview questions are based on the concept that an individual's past behavior is going to help determine their future behavior. For example, if a candidate tells you how they have successfully dealt with a difficult customer in the past, then you can predict that the candidate is more likely to handle a difficult customer successfully in the future.
I want to go ahead and jump into the behavior-based questions. I'm going to be looking for specific situations or tasks from your past experiences. With each answer, I'd like for you to explain the situation or task, any action that you took, and then the outcome of that particular situation or task. Then, of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about the job in the university. And at the end of the interview, I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask questions that you might have. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, well, my first question is, tell me about the most you've ever done to satisfy a customer.
Well, in human resources, the expectation is that we consistently provide a high level of customer service. I always do my best to ensure that every customer is satisfied.
That is a great practice. Do you think you could provide me with a specific example?
Well, one time in student employment, a student came in and asked.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Well, my last question is actually going to focus more on the essential job functions. It's really just a yes or no question. The essential job functions of this position require you to sit for extended periods of time, provide exceptional customer service, as well as maintain a high level of confidentiality. Are you able to perform these responsibilities with or without reasonable accommodations?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Let's review these best practices. Take notes for your reference after the interview. Ask 3 to 5 behavioral-based questions on the must-have skills. Be consistent and ask all candidates the same questions. Ask the essential job functions question. The last step in the interview is the closing. Follow these steps, which are listed on the phone guide for your reference. Be sure to provide information about the position, the department, and the university. It's important that the candidate gets all the information they need to make an informed decision. Ask the candidate if they have any questions. Explain the next steps in the hiring process and indicate when the candidate can expect to hear from you. It is important to provide timely feedback whether or not the candidate is moving forward to the in-person interviews. Set an expectation of what the candidate can expect next. Thank the candidate for their time.
Well, I would like to give you a little bit more information about the position. As I mentioned, this position is within human resources and specifically within the employment department. You'll be a member of the customer support team, so your primary responsibilities are going to be working with hiring officials, potential applicants or employees, as well as current employees, and answering their questions as they relate to the employment process. You will be answering a high volume of calls in person as well as on the phone. Do you have any additional questions for me?
Yes, actually I do. When would you like to have your candidate start?
Well, the position's actually vacant right now, so we'd really like to have someone start as soon as possible. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think you've explained everything very clearly.
Okay, good. Well, I do plan to complete the phone interviews by tomorrow, and then after that, we'll take time to identify the top candidates that we want to bring in for the in-person interviews. I do plan to get back to you regarding the next step for the process by next Friday. I really want to thank you for your time in speaking with me today, and if you have any questions between now and then, you can contact me directly at 859-257-9555. And thanks again for your time, Mario.
I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.
After ending the interview, take time to evaluate the information you have gathered from each candidate based on the job-related criteria. Conducting phone interviews can help eliminate bringing in individuals for an in-person interview who may not truly be interested in the position or have the required skills to successfully perform the job. If you are interested in a customized phone guide for your phone interview, please contact your dedicated employment consultant. For additional information on tools and resources, visit the Hiring Enhancement Program website.